Welcome everyone to today's webinar, the last in our introductory series of our real-time LEED v5 material and resources credit reports. We're thrilled to introduce this work to you. It's been in development for quite some time, and today's presentation will be addressed to both building product manufacturers and architecture and design and construction professionals about the value of these reports and the transparency catalog and project builder and library. So today we're going to cover a little bit about sustainable mines. For those of you who are new to us, what is the transparency catalog, what's in it, how it works, an introduction to project builder and library, and how you can create your organization's materials knowledge base. We're going to touch quickly on the common materials framework from Mindful Materials, those documents that are in the CMF, and those documents that are in the LEED v5 eligible document list, how they're the same but different. And lastly, we're introducing a new option to building product manufacturers to make sure that your transparency documents are all in the catalog in the correct MasterFormat sections so that people can find your products, your disclosures, add them to projects, and make sure that they contribute correctly to both AIA Material Pledge and LEED credits. We're offering this opportunity to just make sure your data is accurate. We like to say, help us help you help them. Then we'll do a demo. We'll show you the reports, and if we have time, we'll show you how products get added to projects. So for those of you new to Sustainable Mines, I'm Terry Swack, the founder and CEO. I started the company in 2007. Yes. And we've really been early in thinking about how to bring life cycle assessment and life cycle thinking to the product manufacturing marketplace, all types of products, not just building products. And then when LEED introduced LEED version 4 in 2012 and created the pilot credits for products with EPDs and products with material disclosures, we were already in the easy to use and understand LCA business. And so we turned our attention to creating easy to understand and use EPDs, easy to understand and use PCRs. And in 2016, we launched the Transparency Catalog to make it easy for the design and construction industry looking for high performance materials to be able to come to one place and find everything, all the manufacturers anywhere in the world making products for the North American market, all organized by MasterFormat, all in one place, to make it easy to ultimately spec those products, because that's how products get into projects. And so what makes us also different from other program operators, other than the fact that we are end-to-end, we deliver everything and get your products into projects and libraries, is we think differently about what an EPD is, or an HPD, or any of the technical documents in the CMF. Those are all marketing tools. Those are all marketing tools that manufacturers create to be transparent about some aspect of the way they make their products, to make it possible for people to make informed decisions on the attributes that they care about, like environmental performance and material health. And so everything we've built, the Transparency Catalog and now Project Builder and Library, is to make it easy for the design and construction professionals to select manufacturers' products where they have invested in product transparency, and to be able to understand what the transparency document means so they can actually make better informed decisions. Manufacturers work with us on their entire product transparency journey. They might need a PCR because there is none, or they might already have EPDs and other material disclosures, and they'll work with us just to get their content up in the catalog, to get into projects and libraries. But as manufacturers are investing increasingly in EPDs and EPDs at scale, for those of you manufacturers on the call, you really are creating a competitive edge for yourself. But just as important is the delivery system for those EPDs and other material disclosures that puts them in front of project teams and specifiers who are explicitly looking for products with those documents to be able to make informed decisions based on what the documents say. And so the transparency catalog, and because we are technical service providers, we deliver those services, we understand them deeply, we've applied that knowledge to the design of the transparency catalog to make products and that information findable and actionable so that the data drives specification. So what's in the catalog? Over 2,300 manufacturers and industry organizations across 28 MasterFormat divisions. We're inching up towards 1,100 sections. We only add sections to the selector when there's content there, so you'll never get no results. And I want to emphasize that over the 10-year period that the catalog has been online, our data team has really developed very rigorous and sophisticated sourcing, curation, mapping, and maintenance methods to pull data from close to 20 or more sources of EPDs, material disclosures, now low-emitting certificates. And I want to emphasize that our data always has been and always will be ethically sourced, which means we've never built or used or will use a bot to scrape a website to gather data and then use it in some unattributed fashion in the catalog. So I want to show you a couple screenshots of the catalog to show you what I mean about kind of unbundling or displaying the results of the documents and how people can filter and search by those attributes that they care about. So you can use the filters in any order: MasterFormat, brand search, and then disclosure type search. So in our partnership with the EC3 tool, we were their first data partner back in 2019. We bring in, through their API, the comparative results of an EPD that's in a public group where they have comparative results, and we display those comparative results with the link to the digital EPD alongside the physical EPD, so you can visually see the comparative result of the relative embodied carbon impacts as disclosed in that EPD compared to other EPDs in that category. And because we have that data, a user or you, if you care about using low carbon materials on a project, you could, even before you select a MasterFormat section, you can say, I only want to see products that have product specific EPDs, that's another filter, in the lowest 1 or 2 quintiles of embodied carbon, and it will filter immediately the data set to just products that have those kinds of documents disclosing at that level. And then a user can continue to search and filter based on other attributes, again, whether it's diving into MasterFormat or then starting to look at the material disclosures or the low emitting certificates that manufacturer might have. Is it CDPH compliant? If it's a material disclosure, what type is it? Is it a rating system like Declare or Cradle to Cradle? Is it a straight up disclosure like the HPDC? And you can see that we really do unbundle the data in an HPD to show you, and it's right here in the interface, the disclosure threshold and whether or not any ingredients in that HPD are on any of these lists. These additional lists is how they refer to it. And so we actually turn it around and say, if there's an absence of chemicals on those lists, then the HPD is showing that this product is free of any of those chemicals, which actually it doesn't report that in the HPD. It only reports if a chemical is on one of those lists. So we're the ones saying, if you want something, if you want a product that is, you're following or you align with any of these hazardous ingredient lists, you can say, I don't want to use a product that has any ingredients on any of these lists. And so you can filter by that. And in fact, you might be saying, I really only want products with declare labels or cradle to cradle, but there are none. And so you probably can find a manufacturer with an HPD that shows you that it doesn't have that ingredient. We also show you that it's third-party verified. So all of it you can just see in a glance. But now I want to introduce how we've integrated the Common Materials Framework. So rather than presenting a user with options to filter by impact area, what we've done is we have labeled each disclosure type in the catalog with the impact areas that disclosure contributes to. And so now think about it that every document in the catalog is knowledgeable about itself. It knows if I'm an EPD or if I'm a cradle to cradle certified, I know that I contribute to all 5 of those impact areas. So just a quick comparison. The CMF, as created by the Mindful Materials Working Group, is used as is in the AA Material Pledge. Any document in the CMF can contribute to reporting about that product in any of these categories. Keeping in mind, Materials Pledge is just reporting at as is. There's no point value, there's no scoring, there's no kind of rating or ranking. It's just reporting. Here's what I've used, products in my project that have CMF documents that contribute to these various impact levels. In LEED version 5, they went a whole lot further. They said, we are only going to have a small subset of document types that are eligible to contribute to the LEED V5 materials credits. So in the CMF, there's over 100 types that have been identified. In LEED V5, there are only 16 types that have been identified as eligible documents. And then within those 16 types, you can see it's very, very granular in terms of the result, in terms of the version. And then what they've done, they have used the impact areas. And what they've done is they've looked at essentially the reporting in each of these document types, the level of reporting and the level of result, and they've assigned a point value to that document in each of the impact areas. And then they have a formula for adding them up to create a multi-attribute score. So now having more eligible documents that are higher in value make the product from the manufacturer who has invested in transparency more valuable to your project. And so manufacturers, this is really now about how not only investing in transparency is paying off, but actually creating healthier, lower impact materials and having the documents that tell that story in a credible way is literally going to get you into more projects and libraries. So now that you know how we curate data and present it to you in the catalog, now I'm going to talk about how we get content from manufacturers or for manufacturers, because it's not always from manufacturers. So what we've always done since we started the catalog was our data team, when they get updates of newly published documents from a program operator or the HPDC, if a manufacturer has published a document for the first time, we'll create a free listing. And we'll link to the manufacturer's website. But in the free listing, what we link to is the document that we've found. So here in the product table, we're linking to the document, we're giving you the expiration date. And here in the name column, it's the name of the document. And it's all going to be by organized by the right master format section. And we tell the user, you know, this is a free listing. Contact the manufacturer to activate the listing and add your product information, because at the end of the day, people don't specify disclosures, they specify products with disclosures. So when a manufacturer activates their listing, looks like this. We create kind of a microsite of a company's website through the lens of transparency. So it's going to have information about who the company is, what it does. It's going to have access to content on the manufacturer's website to support getting sample, spec, quote, and submittal help. There's sharing tools and social media tools to be able to share this information broadly and easily. But at the core of the listing is this product table, which is a matrix. So the horizontal axis is the master format section the product is in. The manufacturer can add a link to the 3-part spec if they have that. Then the vertical axis is the name of the product, and we link to the manufacturer's product page on their website. We believe that a manufacturer's website should be the single source of truth about and to provide product information. But then what we do is we correlate the transparency documents that disclose environmental performance and material ingredients. Also, the low-emitting certificates are in this column. And so we align all the documents that go with that product so that when a user selects that product to get added to a project or a library, all of this information goes with it. All the links to the documents, the document types, the attributes of those documents, and I'll show you what that looks like. Additionally, there's more content that the manufacturer can add to the page to talk about their sustainability initiatives or really anything they want to talk about. We link to partner sites, we cross-link. We're really trying to support this ecosystem of tools that manufacturers and design and building professionals create and use together. Now, a quick note to manufacturers on the call: because we are a mindful materials technology partner, when you activate your listing in the transparency catalog, you have met the Common Ask requirements. There's a spreadsheet that was introduced in the toolkit at the end of last year where design and construction professionals are encouraged to reach out to manufacturers to say, hey, you know, create transparency information, and if you have some, please provide it to me. But if your content is in the transparency catalog, you have met the requirements of having digitized data. And so the sharing tool in your listing makes it easy to just send the link to the listing to anybody instantly to say, hey, go here, you're going to find everything we have, and it's always up to date. You know, thank you very much for caring about mindful materials and the common materials framework. So now let's speak to the AEC folks on the call who are trying to standardize high performance material selection in your organization. And so what we uniquely do is make low carbon and healthy material selection accessible to literally everyone on all of your project teams, even if they know something about it or not, by making the information in the disclosures easy to understand and use, not just easy to find, right? So we're not just providing a link to a document and then making somebody go get it and read it yourselves and figure out what it means. You know, we are exposing those results and allowing you to filter and sort by those attributes that you care about to be able to select materials where manufacturers have really made the effort to produce lower impact, healthier, higher performing materials. And now what we've done with the introduction of these real-time reports, we've visualized, we're making it possible to see the impacts of the decisions of everyone working on the project, to see the impacts of the materials and products that are being selected, but in the process of working on the project. So unlike today, where most frequently project teams kind of get towards the end of the project, and say, wow, do we have enough products with EPDs from enough manufacturers to earn the credit? Wait, we need to go find more. And kind of trying to make up the gap towards the end. This allows project teams to understand, as they're adding projects, how that is influencing or is being measured in the various reporting schema, so that you can actually make alternative or improved decisions in the context of that project. So Transparency Catalog with Project Builder Library is the first collaborative solution for creating a digital knowledge base of products and materials that meet carbon impact and human health goals. And I want to stress, this is not a knowledge base only for high performance materials or materials that have been sourced from the Transparency Catalog. It's a knowledge base for all materials that you are currently using on projects or that you've used in the past, because being able to audit the materials that you use now and then find alternatives or improvements very quickly and rapidly in all the MasterFormat sections where you want to improve those products makes it possible for you to continue to use what you're using, but also realize you could be making different choices, and we've made that super easy for you to do as well. So wrapping up, it's kind of the natural evolution of the Transparency Catalog. It was launched 10 years ago. We've been working with manufacturers and industry professionals over that time. And everything that we've designed into Project Builder Library has been a result of working with project teams to understand how they're working today and how they want to work in a digital environment. And so we've created some very flexible capabilities of being able to build an organization's library. You get personal libraries, but really the core of the functionality is being able to build projects, project templates, product collections, according to your own selection criteria. The underlying data will be live and up to date, and it's going to allow you to select and use and reuse decisions that you've made in the past. This is the obligatory, lots of people use the Project Builder Library of firms of all sizes across the design build spectrum. And we've also made it really easy for users to see which manufacturers have activated their listing and which ones have not. So now we're in Project Builder, we're in a project. You can see right there in the project, that's the link to the manufacturer's product page on their website. You can see here's all the documents you selected the product for with links directly to those documents. You can put in descriptions, assign it basis of design, put in finish schedules. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can upload more documents to enrich that product information, images. You can comment. There can be discussion. And for manufacturers who have not yet activated their listing, we've made it easy for project teams to tell us, hey, let these guys know we're adding their products to projects, but it sure would be great if they activated their listing because we would like to have access to that product information. So we've introduced a new service just as part of this series. Manufacturers, we invite you to talk to us about optimizing your free listing. So it's not a subscription. You're not getting locked into anything. Just help us help you make sure all your content is there in the right MasterFormat sections so that when people are adding products to projects, they're getting added to the right reports, they're being valued at the correct value, and then everybody is happy. So let me jump to the demo with all of that introduction. Here I am in Project Builder. We're going to look at the Bob's Big Building project there on my dashboard because I've been working on it. So once I'm inside of a project, you're going to see that there's 5 tabs inside the project. Here's the project information tab. Here's my list of products, the reporting tab. You can actually keep track of which products were installed. Again, capturing knowledge to reuse later. There's a direct export to EC3. But now here I am on the products list page, and you can see all of the products in each MasterFormat section. And you can see, here's a product from a free listing. Here's a product from an activated listing. We've built in really fun tagging capabilities that allow you to additionally curate content. But now here's the reports. So while you're working, you can go here anytime. And the first report you'll see is the project CMF alignment. So it's just another view of the products in your project. So it's the MasterFormat division, the manufacturer, the listing type. Here's the product name. If it is an activated listing, that's going to link again to the product information. Here's the document. And here's the contribution to the CMF impact levels. And so if you're tracking the impact levels that are important to your team or the project, now it's super easy to see. The next report is the materials pledge report, where literally we're just taking, think of it as streaming the products in the project into each of these reporting templates. So here's the material pledge report. This is a summary report. So of the 54 products in the project, you can see 39 of them contribute to 9 of the categories. These are all the categories in the material pledge. The 9 are highlighted. And now what they ask for is to show of the products in each of these categories, how many products are there? And of those products, how many have documents that contribute to these impact areas? None, few, half, most, or all. And then the spreadsheet export can be used to submit to the AIA for material pledge reporting. All right, so now we're here in the LEED reports. And remember, the documents are scored. They don't always contribute to the same impact areas, but we've just managed that for you in the background. So here's the BPSP credit. This is the credit that's actually in version 5. It's for interior materials. So of the 54 products in Bob's Big Building, 28 contribute to 5 of the categories. There's the categories. We're showing you, we've done this mapping of MasterFormat section to category. LEED didn't do that. They've left that up to you or us. We show you how multi-attribute scores are calculated, because remember, each document knows, based on the document type that it is and the result, it knows its value. So you can see here we've organized the manufacturers and the products and the documents. We're showing the score of each document and adding it up to the multi-attribute score. So when you export this spreadsheet, the calculator is a spreadsheet, so it makes it easy to fill it in. When LEED puts that calculator online, this report will export directly into that calculator so that you can add your quantity and cost data to calculate the actual credit contribution. These next 2 reports are pilot credits, and they were created so that every product in your project that has transparency documents will contribute to a materials credit. So this is the MEP credit. You don't need the calculator for this. We summarize how to earn points and what points are awarded for, and we categorize, again, the products in the project. How do they contribute? We organize it below, show you the point values, calculate the multi-attribute score, and also show you the MasterFormat sections that are assigned to the categories. This is a big one. This is other. So if this is interiors, MEP, that's systems, this credit, also pilot credit, is literally everything else. And so from Bob's Big Building, there's 6 products from 3 brands that are Structure, Enclosure, Hardscape, and other. You don't need the calculator for this one. It's more what you're familiar with, counting the number of products from a certain number of manufacturers. But remember, a product can only contribute to 1, because it's either an interior product, an MEP product, or other. And then the last report is the LEM, which you do need the calculator for, but same thing as BPSP. We're showing you of products in Bob's Big Building, 7 contribute to 2 categories, and you can see the MasterFormat sections that map to those categories. And same thing, we list below by category and the document, and you can export this to calculate your credit value. So that's our demo for today. Thank you so much for taking time to attend, and we hope that You'll continue to use the transparency catalog. For those of you who are interested in Project Builder and Library and creating your materials knowledge base, let us know on your way out. And manufacturers, we'd love to meet with you to tell you more about the value of optimizing your listing, the analytics that you'll get, and to give you this onboarding option if now is not a good time to sign up for another subscription. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day and hope to see you in a meeting or in another webinar. Take care.